Okay. Okay. Okay, so I hope everybody can hear me. Man, I wet my shirt. Okay, it's whatever. It is what it is, I guess, right? Hey guys. It's girl. It's girl Aura. Probably should have put a different shirt on, but it is what it is, you know? All right. Hey guys. It's your girl Aura. Hey Tana. Hey Brooke. Um but yeah, just give you guys a hey John Doe. I think I know who that is. um I just give you guys a couple minutes to swing in here and I will start catching up on some things that I've been doing and um, maybe not some of the lowdown. Hey, Louise. Thanks. Thank you. Some of the lowdown, I guess you could say. Um, kind of where I've been this entire time. You could pretty much say that. But and if I'm still doing readings, yes, I'm still doing readings. I'm still taking on clients and getting clarity for everybody. Hey, Kathy. Listen, I have to tell you guys a story about what happened with that. I almost didn't put any makeup on either, so there's that. Um, so I'll give you guys the lowdown. You know, what ended up happening was I had to leave the military to take care of my mom. And so I did back in December. I left. Well, I didn't leave. I went on leave to go home and take care of her. And January I was officially out. Hey Karen. January I was officially out. And January, I had spent a little bit of time towards the end in Florida looking at some property because I was trying to move my mom to South Florida, so that didn't really pan out the way I wanted it to. Um, and that was just the whole ordeal too. So um, she had a she had been doing her chemo and her radiation, and um, she made it through. And at the beginning, even before she started, you know, I didn't even want her to do her treatments because I flat out told her, I said, Mom, I don't feel like you're going to make it through all of this. I literally said that. And I said that back in September, November ish, before she even started. I said, Mom, I said, I don't even feel like you're going to make it. I said I have a cold chill down my spine, and I said I don't feel like you're gonna make it. But it was like, what other option did we have? What other options did we have? So, rewinding, she made it through. She made it through her chemo and her radiation, and coming into February, she started. It started going downhill from there. It really did. And in February, she had an internal bleed. So she spent a couple weeks in the hospital, and And so her couple weeks in the hospital, she got out, and then she pushing forward into March. She did her very first treatment of immunotherapy, and that's what did it in for her, unfortunately. She had multiple strokes in her brain, and she wasn't functioning after that. It was almost like she wasn't even all there. She kind of started going a little bit downhill. And it's very rare, according to what they've said and what they've told us. It's very rare to have that type of reaction to immunotherapy. And me personally, I didn't want her to do any of those treatments at all. I don't know. I just did not want her to do any of it. Hey, Jennifer. That's what my mom's name. My mom's name is Jennifer. So, moving forward, um, we attempted to take her to the hospital a couple times. The first time we took her to the hospital, they kind of kicked us out of it. Like, they just sent her home, and the only thing that they said was wrong with her was potassium, a potassium thing, which was totally wrong. And then finally her cancer doctor calls, and I want to say about 2 weeks later, and he goes, "Yeah, you need to take her back to the hospital." And we're like, good to know. Good to know. So we took her back, and mind you, the whole entire time they told us that the cancer was shrinking, and everything was fine, and everything was fine and dandy. We took her back to the hospital, and they said that the cancer had spread. And she had about a month to live. So now we're in May. May was when we brought her home on hospice, and I spent the time with her. The time that she had left, I spent it with her, and my mom was like my biggest fan. You know, she was like my biggest fan. She loved all of the stuff that I was doing, the readings, the YouTube channel, all of it. She supported all of it. And I would tell her, I'd be like, "Mom, I'm going live." Like, "Mom, I'm going live." She's like, "Okay, Katie. Okay, Katie." So, um, ugh. So you have that. Oh, you have that. And here we are. And while I was doing all of that, I attempted to try to do readings. I attempted to try to do at least a couple predictions for. I actually recorded one back in March for the Idaho stabbings. I was trying to do a prediction for that. There's so much stuff happening with that, and it was going to come up on that. I'm telling you, it's going to be I feel like it's going to be one of the biggest cases. But I recorded something like that back in March, and while I was kind of in the middle of all of my mom's stuff, and it was a lot. Um, and it was a lot. And I want to say right before she passed away, I knew she was going to pass away even a few days before. She wasn't talking, she wasn't eating, she was hardly speaking, and she was taking very deep breaths. So we were instructed to provide comfort for her whenever she needed it. And most of the time when I was here doing that for her, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to see her in pain like that, because she was in a lot of pain. She had multiple strokes in her head, and she had a blood clot. and it was a lot on her. And I felt incredibly drained. And you know how people say, well, I'm an empath and I feel this. It was extremely heavy for me. Not even just as being like a psychic or a medium or anything like that. It was extremely heavy seeing her um in that stage. It was a lot. Um and it was a lot on me. It was almost like she was already gone in that sense, but it was like at the same time it was hard seeing her that way. And I made the best of it that I could in that time frame. But right before she started, well, I want to say a few days before um, she passed away, I started writing in here and I started reading my book to her, and she wouldn't really speak words, but she would kind of mumble. And when I was reading out loud to her, I was like, Mom, I was like, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? She's like, good, good. So I could tell that she was there, but she wasn't all there at the same time. So she could hear me. And yeah, and I want to say this, and I'm going to say this publicly. I'm going to say this out in the open. If it wasn't for the military, if the military hadn't released me when they did, and they hadn't been so generous, if they hadn't been so generous about letting me go early, because my contract was actually supposed to end in March, and my contract I ended up being released early in January because of all of this happening. If they hadn't done that, I would have never been able to spend that amount of time with her, and I'm so grateful for that. I will say that I am very and truly grateful for all of that. I even reached out to the first sergeant that I had on social media, and I sent him a message, and I was like, listen, um, I'm really grateful for all that you did. So I was very humble about that. Thinking about that yesterday. Thinking about that yesterday. Moving forward. moving forward. Um, right before, I want to say a few days before she passed away too. I'm going to throw this out there. There was one morning that I woke up and I heard her talking, like not from her physical body, but I heard her talking or whispering to me. And I want to say this was about 2 days, a day or so before she left this earth. But um I could feel it is what I want to say. Do I have my moments too where um and it's a lot different when you're also a medium, and because it's like it's like you're accepting the version that she is now. And I feel like that is for everybody. Everybody grieves differently, but um when you're that close to your parents, man, me and Mom, like this, like glue. um she was she was the one person that I would go to for advice all the time. All the time, 24/7, for everything, literally everything. And she loved the fact that I was doing this and I was pursuing things and I was pursuing my dreams, and my book's going to be finished soon, by the way. So I'm still working on that. So, and I will let you guys know when it's finished, because it's getting there. It's getting there. I've never written a book before, but I used to, when I was, when I was a kid too, I used to write short stories all the time. And my mom would, um, my mom would, she would totally support my little short story marathon that I would do. And I remember, like, 1999, sitting at a computer, like one of those, you know, little computers, and it's, square and stuff. Writing my short stories. And actually, I saw a couple of them too, because um, I'm by one of my childhood homes right now. So So, um, what am I going to be doing? Well, actually, first and foremost, I want to talk about the hair right now. Okay. This is a totally new look for me. It was it was right before my mom passed away, and I was feeling incredibly, incredibly heavy. And I just felt like I had to lift a weight off my shoulders. So I went into the bathroom, filled the tub up with water, threw some salt in there, and I was burning. I can't remember if I was burning sage or if I was burning cedar, but I was just like, I felt like I needed to feel relief in some way, shape, or form. I know my hair wasn't even that long when I did it, but I went into the tub and I grabbed a pair of scissors and I just went at it with my hair. And then I have an older sister, by the way. I'm gonna get into that too as well. I have an older sister, by the way. When my sister showed up to help me take care of mom, she took one look at me and she goes, "I can't believe you did that to your hair." She goes, I can't believe you did that. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. um, so, but after I did it, I was like, I felt incredible relief after I did it. But then after a few days, I was like, yeah, I need to even this out a little bit. I need to go to a hair salon and have somebody fix it for me, because I am not a salon. Yeah, no, I'm not a salon person. I do not know how to do hair, but I know how to cut it all off in the bathtub. But I gathered it all up. I gathered all my hair up and I said, Spirit is going to reveal to me how I should disperse of my hair. Spirit is going to reveal to me. And I do have this one very special sacred spot that I go to. I actually went swimming there not too long ago. It's right down the street. And a lot of people go there to swim and stuff, but for me, like, even going in that water and coming out, I do feel, I feel a little bit relief when I come out of that water a lot of the time. So, I went down there and I did my own little ceremony, and it felt amazing doing something like that. Dispersing of my hair that way. Um, I was going to, I was going to, and I'm going to write. All of this is going in my book as well, so that's why I'm saying, like, my book's not finished yet. My book is not finished just yet. Um, so so I'm gonna rewind a little bit as well. I'm gonna rewind. I'm probably gonna rewind a little bit further as well. So I don't know if you guys remember. Definitely. Thank you for sharing even the hard stuff. Thanks, Brooke. 2 months ago, I went and got mine all off. Gonna donate it to Locks of Love. Felt better having the energy removed. Made a big difference. So I get it. Yes. Um, I, I don't know if I'm going to keep it this way. I'm not going to lie. It's different. Like I just, I can get up. I can get up and just throw a little bit of like, rinse my hair out or something like that and throw a little mousse in it and I'm good to go. Like, I don't know. It's kind of different for me, I guess. I don't know. But I'm going to rewind a little bit too. So when I was still in the service, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had mentioned that I was canceling the live because I had a missing persons case that I had to do, right? Well, somebody from my leadership came at me and asked me to figure out where a person was who went AWOL. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys or if I even told you this story, but I took it on. I took it on, and it was really interesting doing it because when I went home, I was a little bit nervous, and I was really nervous about doing it. But they cared a lot about this individual, and they were worried that they weren't alive anymore or whatever. So I went home and I just I put my hoodie on. It was a little chilly back then, but I put my hoodie on. I laid outside in the grass and I looked up at the stars and and I had my notebook with me a little bit, but I was like, "Hey, could you give me a little bit of insight of what's happening with this person? Where are they? What's happening with them right now?" And as I was doing that, I started, catching little glimpses here and there, catching little glimpses of where they were or what was happening with them. And come to find out, and this person was very young. They're having a hard time in the military, which is completely understandable. Having a hard time in the military, which you know is completely understandable. But at the same time, you have somebody that's missing, and their leadership is going crazy right now, trying to figure out where they are. Um, so I'm sitting there and I'm giving him all this information, and I'm saying, "Hey, they're fine. They're definitely alive. They got a pulse." I said, "You're probably going to hear from them in a couple weeks. So keep your eyes peeled." I said, "But they're very fidgety right now, obviously. But at the same time," I said, "here in the near future, either right now or here in the near future," I said, "they're going to be definitely on a lot of medication because their mind is all scrambled right now." Um, and then what else did I say? I'm trying to remember everything that I said. But so then I came back. And then I went on leave. I went on vacation to see my family. Well, to see my mom, because at the time it was right before she got her diagnosis. So I'm home. Then I came back, and he tells me, "Hey, you were right. He's back. They found him." And that's that. So I was like, "Cool." He said, "I forgot to tell you that he came back and they found him." And I was like, "Great. That's great. That's really great." So it was a really interesting experience kind of doing that in the military, but on a little secretive level. Not so much secret, I guess, because he's probably going to see this video and be like, "Why did you do that?" um, so I had those moments before getting out, which was kind of cool, actually, really cool. So going back to rewinding a little bit, going back to what I'm gonna do with this channel. I am still gonna be doing missing persons cases, but you have to bear with me because obviously I'm still grieving in the same sense and still going through the motions. Yes, I can still hear her. As crazy as it seems, I can still hear her. This is actually the room that she passed away in. And I will say this, I haven't been able to sleep here since she passed away, which was on the 26th. Last night was the first night that I actually spent the night here in this building because I don't know, I just sorry, I got my window open and it's really hot, and I'm by a lot of traffic, so sorry for the loud noise. But anyway, I couldn't sleep in here. I don't know what it was. I couldn't sleep in here. It was so the energy was so heavy, and for me, because it's my mother and because I was so close to her and because she was my pride, like she was my biggest fan. She was my biggest fan. Um, being here now, it's different being here now because I couldn't sleep here for a little bit. I spent practically every day camping. Um, Practically every day camping, and it was I enjoy it. I enjoy being outside. You guys should know that I love being outside. But then eventually you have to come home. Eventually you have to come home. So, last night was kind of like the first night that I was in here, and I got up this morning, and when I got up this morning, I didn't feel a heavy burden, on my shoulders. I didn't feel like the energy was super heavy on me. I got up and I wasn't as bright eyed and bushy tailed, but I got up and, started picking things up and clearing the energy and um, trying to at least feel a little bit normal, even though I know it's always with you. It's always going to be with you. And the grieving process is a lot different. Everybody's not the same. Um, everybody is not the same. I did have a moment. I will say that I had a moment right before she passed away, and I knew she was really, really close. Aura had a little karaoke party on the back porch, and then I had a visit with the sheriff in town, and they said you need to keep it down. And this was at 8:30 at night because you know because everybody's super sensitive about their privacy and noise ordinance and those things as such in this area. But Aura kind of does her own thing, and we were very polite to the police officer because as soon as I opened the door, realized I went to school with this person. I went to school with this person, so um, I had a little moment. I had a little moment. Um, but yeah, so going back to what I'm going to be doing with this channel, I'm still going to be doing cases. It is a small world. It's a small town. It's a small town, and like everybody knows everybody. And 8 o'clock at night, I don't understand that. But we live and we learn, right? Um, so rewinding a little bit, going back to what I'm going to be doing with this channel. I'm still going to be doing, I'm missing persons cases and stuff like that. I may upload the reading that I did in the woods. I did it in the woods back in March, but I was very, it was while I was still going through the motions with my mom, because it was like every single time that I was here, it was extremely heavy. It was, very heavy. I do. I do need to come visit you. I do need to come visit you, Kathy. I do need to come visit you. Maybe I will. You're still in Florida, right? So I would love to come stay again. I would definitely love to come stay again. Um, so, yes, what am I going to be doing with this channel going back to that? I still want to do missing persons cases. So, Idaho stabbings. Oh, I am going to take all the time that I need because, 1 minute I'm okay, and then the next minute I see a picture of her and I kind of lose it just a little bit, but at the same time, I still hear her. I definitely still hear her. And I didn't tell you guys this, but when mom came home on hospice, I I gave the hospice nurse a reading. Because she was talking about her, I believe, her daughter's boyfriend. I kind of like did a reading for him basically, because I was sitting there and I was talking about some of the things that he should be doing. Um, some of the things that he should be doing with his life. And I'm like, why isn't he doing those things? Because he should be. He holds himself back so much and it sucks. But I really enjoy my readings. And despite everything happening in my life right now, leaving the military, doing doing the YouTube thing and my podcast as well. And then I have another channel, obviously. I would like to be doing some more stuff with that as well, to make it more personal for you guys. Because, missing persons cases, I know a lot of people are really much into that and, into the details and stuff like that. But also to make it more personal for, all of you guys, my subscribers, and you guys watching me. And there's a few of you that have been here for as long as I've had a channel and as long as I've been doing my lives, and it's great. It really is great. It's great to see you guys in here, and it's great to share my experience of my mom's passing, and it's very I want to say I'm very humbled. Um, so, but so yeah, going back to what I want to do with this channel still, because I was reading some of the comments while I was going through the motions of everything. Where are you, Aura? Where have you been? um, so it's going to take me a little bit of time, but um, yes, I would like to do more of my readings and stuff like that. So, Idaho stabbings. I don't know why, but I'm very stuck on that right now. I wouldn't say I'm stuck on it, but back in March, I recorded a video of a couple things that I kind of saw happening, especially in the case, and I want to rewatch it and probably post it on here because there are going to be some things that are going to come up with that, and there's always, there's always going to be, a case or there's always going to be something. So That's going to be the first thing, if anything, as soon as I get back to my stuff. So Idaho Stabbings is going to be my first stab. I probably shouldn't say that because that's a really bad joke. My first crack at it, coming back onto here. Um, I'm still doing my podcast too, my other podcast as well. Um, but the other, oh yes, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is my website. My website has actually changed. Because my sister and I are going to be I want to say we're going to be partnering up a little bit on some stuff. We have some antiques, and we're kind of going to be combining it all into one. So it'll be like a spiritual shop and herbs, and so far everything is online. Um, so I did update the website, and I'm going to post it on my channel here. And we have some my mom collected all of these antiques actually. So she collected all of these things throughout the years. We haven't been able to open the shop because it's filled with stuff, and you can't even move in there. Like you can't even like walk in there. You can hardly even move around. So we're cataloging some of the stuff on the website, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. Actually, I'm really looking forward to that. And um, what else? So I'm gonna update, or I have updated the link for my website as well. So it's not just my website; it's also my sister's name is Tuesday. So it's Aura and Tuesdays. So we have some really good stuff. Um, my mom, my mom did a really good job of collecting stuff, collecting antiques and stuff. So it's pretty neat, some of the stuff that she has down there. Um, yeah, one day is good, other days you lose it. Yeah, this morning, I don't know if any of you guys have I don't know if any of you guys have Google Photos or anything like that. But on my phone sends me like these, excuse me, they send me like these memory things. And one of the memories was mom playing with my son when he was like a baby, like he was a year old. And I lost it, because it was back in like 2018, and it's like looking at that, it's like who knew that it was going to happen this quick? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Who knew that it was going to happen in 5 years, who knew that it was going to happen that quick? And thinking about it now, like I can't base everything off of the past, and I know a lot of people can't, but this is a chance for growth. When we lose somebody, this is my interpretation. I'm just going to say, I'm going to throw this out there. This is my interpretation of losing somebody very close. They're always there. And I was actually, right before I got my dinner too, I went down to the store, rewinding just a little bit, trying to get my thought together. But when I went down to the store a little while ago, there was a lady that used to wait on my mom all the time when I was gone in the military. My mom, when she had Ash with her, and her business partner was in there. They used to get dinner all the time together. By the way, they both went downhill at the same time. He hasn't passed away yet, but right when my mom was going downhill, so was he. But anyway, I was in there and I was talking with her, and she was talking about her husband that passed away and how close they were. And, you know, Yeah, so those are all experiences, Louise. Those are all like, those are all kind of like interactions, because it's like another version of themselves. It's it's another version. And I was talking with that individual at the food place. And I was like, they never leave you. I looked at her and I was like, they really do never leave you. You know, this is like another version of themselves. I said, this is just a vessel. This is just flesh. This is just a vessel. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that movie. What is it called? The Host. The Host, where it's kind of like aliens take over and stuff like that. But some of the aliens are actually really nice. They're not jerks or whatever, but you know, they're they're not like pods or anything like that. It reminds me of my mom too. But that was my mom's favorite music group, actually. The Cars. My mom loved that group. She loved that group. Um, but but this is just a vessel. This here, it's just a vessel. You know, our bodies can only go on for so long, and then we just end up going into another version of ourselves. It's just energy. That's all it is. That's all it is. This is this is what we look like physically, obviously, but on a soulful level, after you leave this vessel, obviously you're going to look like something else. So this is my interpretation of somebody very close to me who passed away. But my other interpretation of it is, it's not a time to you can grieve them. You can grieve that past version of themselves. You can grieve the vessel that they were in. You miss their body. You miss their physical presence. Of course you do. And my interpretation is it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. But eventually you come to a point where you accept the way things are, and you accept the way things are. And you come to know that there's always some type of communication. You know, humanly speaking, all right? Humanly speaking, our minds all the time are like, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, this is not true. So when it comes to a point where, did I really just hear that? Did I really just smell some type of perfume? Did that really happen? It gets to a point where we have to second guess ourselves. And that's not your soul doing that to you. That's your human logical mind doing that to you. When it comes to this kind of experience for me, I'm still grieving myself, but I'm coming to understand mind, body, spirit. All right, or soul. Mind, body, soul. Mind, body, soul. Your mind is trying to tell you that it's not real. Your body speaks to you in different ways. Your body is always going to tell you. All right. I took a, what is it called? I took a weight loss class before I left the military, by the way. And it was very, very, very helpful for me. All right. It was very, very helpful for me. Right now, I'm not following his advice at all on what I should be eating and not eating. Maybe I should probably switch that up a little bit, and I will. But he made a very good point because it pointed in that direction. Your body is going to tell you what you are craving, what you are wanting, what your body is kind of needing. I mean, obviously, your body tells you when you're thirsty and when you need water, or, there's some days where you're probably going to crave like a potato chip, or you're going to crave like asparagus. I know there was a point in time when my body kind of really craved asparagus, because it's different kinds of foods. But, your body's going to tell you that. And your soul is also going to tell you what your soul needs, like what your soul is trying to tell you what to do, what your soul needs in this lifetime, what your soul mission is. You're going to feel drawn to certain things. You're going to feel drawn to certain places. That's not just your mind saying, oh, well, I'm going to go do this today. That's your soul saying, I feel called to do this. I feel called to kind of go in this direction. I feel called to, go to that town, or I feel called to go jump in that river, or I feel called to, do something like that. That's all it is. And when we grieve and when we lose somebody very close to us, you come to understand that, yes, it hurts. It's going to hurt. And your human self is going to tell you, well, that's the end. That's the end. I'm never going to see them again. And that's not fucking true. Excuse my French, but that's not true. It's not the end. It's never the end. Because you're always going to see different versions of them in different places. You're going to look at numbers on your screen, and you're going to think of that person at that very moment when you see those numbers. You're going to think of a memory. You're going to have a flash. You're going to have some type of moment that the two of you shared when they were in this vessel. And then you're going to have another moment that you're going to share on an energetic level, on a frequency. And the only reason why it's like that is because frequency, they can't, they can, you have to be very vulnerable for that, Abraham Hicks explains it very well. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to lose somebody. But it's also a frequency. It's also a frequency that you're feeling called to. And they never leave us. They never leave us. I guess that's kind of like where I got my name from, Aura. I was, literally before I came up with Aura, I had to think about it for a little bit. And there was one day where I was like kind of meditating, and I was like, well, what would I spiritually call myself? Because my earthly name, obviously my earthly name is Katie. All right. My earth-born name is Katie, but spiritually speaking, if I was a different energy, or if I was, if I wasn't in this physical vessel, I'd want to be called that. So I feel like I'm lecturing about grief, even though I'm only in the first few days of it, but I'm coming to understand it for what it is. I'm coming to understand it for not just the experience of it all, and not just, to sit here and brag about it, but to sit here and to express to you and to say that we're all grieving. There comes a point in time in our lives where we have to grieve, and we have to uh, come to understand that when we lose somebody too, this is also a time for a new chapter in your life as well. Perhaps it ends a certain point in your life, a certain way of living, or a certain way of being. Sometimes when you lose somebody, you see the person drinking heavily, or you also see the person doing drugs and, going on a downward spiral because they their interpretation of it is in a very negative aspect. And for me, sure, it's going to hurt. I'll just smoke a little weed. I'm just kidding. Um, it's going to hurt, but as long as you stay in an authentic version, they wouldn't want you to see. They wouldn't want you to be in a downward spiral. You know, there's also this other movie. I believe I watched a long time ago. I want to say I watched a few years back. Actually, way before I even joined the military. Um, way before I joined the military. I'm not sure if any of you even know this movie, but the movie is called Wild. It's got Reese Witherspoon in it, and I'm actually gonna put it here in the chat. All right. She lost her mom, and she was married to this one guy, but she started like doing drugs and sleeping around and sleeping with people for drugs, and it was a hot mess, and she was a hot mess. So she decides to go backpacking. I can't remember where it was. It was through some type of national park area. I think it's like out in the west, out in the west coast. But she decides to do that to help her grieve her mom because she was this close to her mother. And throughout the movie, there's like different memories of her, and they kind of show glimpses of different types of instances that she had with her mom, and also instances after she lost her mom and when she was on drugs and stuff like that. So her interpretation of that was, like she's gonna, she died, I want to die too, right? um and that was my instant reaction myself. Like, she's gonna die, I want to die too, I want to go with her too, I want to go with her too. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody if anybody ever wants to see that movie. So it was actually a very, very inspiring movie. Um, and come to think, the other thing that I also want to talk to you guys about, um, before I even came home to take care of my mom, what I found is that I feel like spirit and God, they prepare us for a lot of these moments in our lives. And I'll give you an example too, because I didn't realize this until mom was actually home and I was taking care of her. And, I didn't realize that until those moments. But before I joined the military, I I was a CNA. I worked as a certified nursing assistant in assisted living. And I did that for about 2.5 years before I joined the military. And all of those instances that I saw, it was coming home and seeing my mom in different types of states, and some of those moments kind of clicked in my head while I was taking care of her at the same time. And um, you know, God prepares us for a lot of things. He prepares us for certain things that we will have to go through. Like, you don't have that job because you feel, just because you feel drawn to it. Sure, you feel drawn to it, but at some point in your life, there's going to be a time where it is actually going to be useful in the future. And I will say, me being a nurse's aide for the period of time that I was a nurse's aide, it was very helpful while I was home. Um, going Not just going through the motions of what was happening with my mom, but also taking care of her, physically taking care of her. um, because a lot of that, it was different because it was my own family member, but at the same time, having those skills actually helped me in the long run. um, I figured out, certain things to kind of do along the way, but at the same time, some of those skills kind of just clicked in as I was going through the motions and taking care of her. So, I want to share with you that you don't have, the job, the earthly job that you have right now for, to make the big bucks, or, to put food and bread on the table. No, there's a reason why you have specific jobs. There's a reason that you have that you're working at a specific place. Sure, you feel drawn to it. Sure, you like it right now, and it's something that is going to help you in the future. Go back to school and stuff like that. But you know, in the long run, if you think about it, none of these jobs, all of these jobs are going to prepare you for a very important and eventful moment in your life. And I didn't realize that until I was actually sitting here and living it and doing it myself. Um, because I realized that when I was home, and, you know, thinking about it now, it's like, wow, why did I even want that job back then? Why did I even actually feel like I needed that job back then, or I wanted to be a CNA for whatever reason, you know? Um, some of those moments are meant to happen in that way, is really what I want to say. But so before I leave you guys, I will say this. I will say this. Um, I don't know how much time I'm gonna take before I come back. Because I'm not saying I need a. Obviously, I've been on a 4-month break on readings for this channel anyway. But I will say this: I am going to continue to periodically um, post what I can on here, and maybe even go live. And I'll let you guys know, of course, in advance when I'm going to be going live. And um, I have the Idaho stabbings here on my list. So thanks, Louise. Okay, wait, I got to read some of you guys' comments. Oh. Bubsy, I miss my husband's smile, touch, and laughter, sending you hugs. Oh, thanks, Bubsy. Be a dragonfly. Kathy, spiritually, you have to be a dragonfly. Speaking of a dragonfly, I actually had one land on me like a day or so ago. So that was pretty interesting. Having another dragonfly land on you. Also, um, if any of you guys see a turtle on the road, it's a good omen. Don't run it over. Save it, please. um, I've saved 2 already this summer, but I also accidentally hit one, and I felt so bad. I felt like I was gonna cry. That one hit me really hard. That one punched my heart. Like I felt like a needle hit my heart. I felt really bad for that one. But if you see turtles on the road, that was my mom's thing. My mom really loved turtles, and turtles are a very good spiritual omen. Turtles mean good luck, and they also mean prosperity. So, uh, save a turtle's life this summer if you have that chance as well. Throwing that out there. Because I do it all the time. I will stop traffic in the middle of the road just to save a turtle, and your girl Aura don't give a shit. She definitely doesn't give a shit. Um, we are energy, but at times it doesn't make it easy. You still miss their body. Okay, but anyways, you guys, before I leave you this evening, I've done that to save ducklings. Yes, totally. Do that too. What was it? I saved Canadian geese too as well before I left Virginia this last time. They were like crossing the road, and I didn't want anybody to run them over because, traffic still got to go somewhere. So I kind of felt bad. So I jumped out of the car, and I, made sure that they crossed the road. So totally do that. Totally do that. So before I get out of here, I'm sending a lot of blessings to each and every one of you, and I appreciate every single one of you who has said something, because I want to say I know things are going, um, but it's hard to imagine it like that. And this goes the same for a lot of manifesting, manifesting. In at certain times, you just have to kind of detach and just let go. And I will be back, of course, to do the Idaho stabbings because I'm kind of stuck on that right now. I will say that I am stuck on that. Um, so I love you guys, and I send many blessings to you. I think the next time I go live, I'm gonna read a script from the library. Or not from the library, from the Bible. And the next time, maybe I'm thinking about doing something like that. So, anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for the love and support. Also, the kind words. I really appreciate every single one of you. Um, I really do. I appreciate every single one of you. Yeah. Um, so I love you guys. I will be back to do readings. Don't worry. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. None of that is happening. Just taking a little bit of time for myself. So this channel will be very specific to, missing persons and stuff like that. I will continue to do that. But I also have another channel that I'm going to be building up as well. Making it a little bit more personal for, obviously subscribers and stuff like that. So hope to see you guys over there as well. If I have any more stuff out, you guys will be the first to know as well. But I love you guys. I send very many blessings to a lot of you and appreciate the kind words from each and every one of you. So I will see you guys soon. Also, you can follow me on my social media, my Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all that good stuff. So I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Everybody, please take care. Bye for now.